Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together.
Down in the shed where the magic begins, Dave's got his tools, let the fun commence. 3D printing dreams, watch him come alive. With every little gadget, man, he starts to thrive. Blueprints in hand, technology so keen, building up the future like a crafty machine. Model trains rolling on a whimsical track. In this shed of wonder, there's no time to slack. Oh, Dave in the shed where the vibes stay high. Creating with passion, he's reaching for the sky. DIY master in a vibrant samba flow. Hope you enjoyed the video, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, associated visitors, either legal or unlegal, either legal or illegal visitors from this planet or another. Hello and welcome to Friday, Dave in the Shed. Well, it's been an interesting Friday so far. I've quick trip up the town this morning turned into a marathon. I was dropping some stuff off at the local tip, and every other person in town, mainly the Fridays, must have done a Friday clean-up, even though I was up there early. Had to line up for about 20 minutes to get to the local tip to drop off. Photos, insert now for proof, Dave. Photos for proof if you're delayed at the tip. Anyway, currently showed videos of the Sydney Harbour Bridge out in the garden. We'll talk more about that as the video goes along, because I did get this stuff I wanted to do in the shed this morning. Now I can hardly walk, I apologise. I was out painting with the older bro at Mother's on Wednesday, 2 days ago, and I can hardly walk today. I can hardly walk. In fact, very lucky the people at the local supermarket helped me, because I had to go and get some bread and milk this morning, and lucky the girls noticed that I was struggling and helped me out. And leaving the local supermarket, this guy on a Harley comes screaming down the road, almost side swipe me, missed me by a couple of mils at the most. Tell you what, I wasn't impressed. Neither were the two highway patrol officers who were chasing him in their cars, so they weren't impressed either by that. Anyway, let's go for a wander into the shed. I've got something exciting to show you in the shed. Well, it may not be exciting, but we'll just have to look, because I don't know how we're going to cope with this. You can tell I haven't done a lot. Big pile of rubbish on the floor. I normally clean that up on a Friday, but have a look at this. We're going to sneak over into the corner and have a look at this as over and see if we can catch it on video. Can you see that? I don't know if you just saw it slither away. Now don't panic, it's not a snake. Got a blue tongue. Got a blue tongue in the shed. I don't know if you saw that, we'll have to see on the video. Sorry about that, didn't mean to turn the movie into a horror movie. It's the hassle with these pocket free. The screen is so tiny, and if you push the wrong thing it does something. And I was trying to zoom in, but just down in that corner, I'll have to look on the video, blue tongue. Came into the office, turned the lights on, and there he is sitting there in the corner. Let's see if we encourage him out. May have to... harmless fake people, they're harmless, although he can't really stay in my shed, but I suppose he'll keep the spiders and bits and pieces down, and see what we have to do that. I have to have a thinking about that, thinking and blinging. What we're going to do about that. Anyway, that's not the purpose of today's video. Interesting. Well, this week I have been doing a little bit of the gardening. Done a bit of work here, up here in the garden, putting pretty flowers in. Did I show you what I was doing last week? Anyway, planted a tree, started work on the putting the garden in this area, the layout. Now, we'll wander around here. Oh, trip over a box, Dave. Left leg is really not cooperating today. So I've put in tufts of grass to blend in where the shed here, whether the loco shed or whatever it is, whatever shed it is here. Use the old hand of God to pull the loco out. So I've done that around there. I have put windows in and sprayed a bit of muck on the shed here. Looks a bit better, toned it down a bit, so I'm quite happy with that. It's a very dirty, grotty, industrial type looking. Got the windows in and a bit of filth on that. That's looking better. Thinking about along this back bit of putting in this fake, wrecked the place. Dave's here. Of putting in a layer of a fake wall against a wall of shipping containers stacked up there in low relief, just to fill out the spot. Not quite sure, but we might do that. Just put the shipping containers in along there. Anyway, let's go for a bit of a wander round, showing you the pretty flowers. I did some work over here at the park gates. Put all this bushy stuff in. That just neatens up that area that looks a little bit untidy. So I've done that, and the lights. Put some lights in. Now I'll talk about those lights in a sec. If you saw my post on the narrow gauge Australian modelers thing, they're the lights from Aldi. We'll talk about them in a sec. But wander around. Sprayed a bit more. Dirtied that up. That looks a bit better. Dirtied that up a bit, so I'm happy with that. I'll have to put some windows in it soon. And I for those who knew what the error was in the pub, I've done a bit of work around there to the pub. Put a bit of the old, well, it looks a bit like it's got a wisteria growing on it, doesn't it? Across the pub. We've had a few new vehicles arrive from the dealers. Somebody gave me this as a gift, which is rather amazing, the old the Valiant, because I used to own almost that perfect car, the old Valiant with a big 5-litre V8. Drove one round Canberra for a couple of years until I sort of couldn't afford to drive it anymore. Lovely car, great trip. It used to be fantastic for doing the typical Canberran down the coast trip where you disappear down in Bateman's Bay for the weekend or the long weekend or even longer weekend or a couple of sicky weekends anyway. So that was gifted to me. It's about the right scale. It's brilliant. There is another Valiant. I won't give it away where the other Valiant is. There is another Valiant that also arrived that is also in the... Interesting here, if you look back to back, there's 2 cars in there that I used to own. I've got to find some Corollas in the right scale and the right size. But anyway, okay, just to finish up, these are the lights that they appeared last Wednesday in the Aldi catalogue. I've used them exclusively around my layout because people always pop up. They come up once a year around this time. Come in a packet like... I've made posts about these on various social media. They come in a packet like this. They're designed to... that. Now, I pull the little reef off them. If anybody saw my post and wondered what I was rabbiting on about the reef, here on the memorial... Pardon with that horrible gorilla glue that went everywhere. But anyway, if you look carefully, you will see the recycled the reefs off the lights. They just pull off onto the memorial there. If we can get in there and see on the memorial there. Don't use that fancy Gorilla Glue. It expands and it goes everywhere. It's great glue and there's an epoxy resin. I'll tell you what. Anyway, now back to these things. They've changed the design of them, the lights, and I'll show you why. Because on the battery pack now, the battery pack takes triple A's, or is it double A's? What does it say? It takes free AA batteries, and they now have a screwdriver on the side. As part of all these EU stuff where batteries have to encase. They used to just have a screw hole in the battery, but now they have a thing there and thing there. Now these come on a string. I used to set them up on the layout on the string with the batteries, but these days I disconnect them and I solder a protection resistor, which is for the purposes of trying to think of the right. It's a current protection. You put a resistor in line and it acts as current protection so you don't blow the LEDs up. And I run them off my main supply that runs all the thing. And if you want a video about how I do that, especially using these lights, let me know. We'll do a tutorial on how to. But they're in Aldi's now. Now I went up to Aldi's on Wednesday and grabbed 2 packets because I only needed 2. And my local Aldi's, I had to go up there this morning, as I said, to get bread and milk, and they're already sold out, so I couldn't grab any more. I thought the advertising was a bit deceiving because they're actually $19.99 a packet, but they sort of like suggested in the advertising they were $9.99 a packet. Anyway, we've got 2 of those. That'll keep me busy for a while. But that's about it for this week. Look, have a look at that. This is down the main street here of those same lights. They're a yellow, because that's really good, because the yellow LED represents very much like if it was a gas lit flame, which is quite yellow compared to other flames, electrical. So I might also replace that one, because it is. Is it working? Let's give it a good old, give it a flick. We might have to replace that one. It was working, but the LED has decided to cease functioning. That one might just leave it as a faulty lamp. We never know. But anyway, that's it for this week. Keep safe, keep well. Don't forget, like and subscribe. If there's anything in this video that you'd like to ask me questions about, or if you want to see a tutorial, a video tutorial about how I set these lights up to run them off the 6-volt supply that I use for all the buildings around the layout, let me know. We'll do that. So what's coming next week? Well, I've got some more work I'm going to do about planting the trees and the bushes and the garden and bits and pieces. I've actually got a note here that I've got to down here. I've got to put more trees and bushes around the old loco depot. How about that? They're there to go around the loco depot. Got to see what we can do about my friend who has taken up residence in the corner over there. Yeah. Look at that. That came up beautiful. Oh, that came up using the cheap Timo airbrush. I did that. Look, if you see them cheap, you get them cheap, grab one. Grab one. They're not too bad. I used it to do all this work and paint work, and very happy with how that stone work came up. It was a grey industrial stone. Doesn't look too bad from a distance. And that was done with the cheap Timo airbrush. Wherever, oh, it's overcharging. Wherever I left it, it's over here having a charge. That thing. Pull it off the charger, Dave. See. So this thing that came from Timo of all places, I've been using it with the big. Yeah, it's great for weathering and doing big stuff and bulk stuff. And I just use paint from that German supermarket that I mixed up with some water and sprayed on. This stuff that you get cheap from the when it's in stock. I use a lot of this for doing stuff. You get that from that German supermarket when it's in stock. This is the paint I use for weathering. I just use that stuff. Whack it in the old the jam jar. Well, not really a jam jar. Mix it up in a jar, like these jars here. It's actually the jar here. So I just mix it with a bit of water, shake it up, get it nice and thin, put it in the spray gun and spray it around everywhere. As in, like here on this shed. It just tones everything down a bit if you give it a spray with the watered down black. in the thing. Anyway, that is for this week. Hope you keep safe. Hope you keep well. If you've got any questions about anything you've seen in the video, or if you'd like to see more about any particular thing, or you'd like me to explain in depth anything you've seen in the video a bit more, do let me know and I'll do that. Till we meet again, bye for now from Dave in the shed. Bye for now from Dave in the shed. Keep well, keep safe, look after yourself, and don't forget, get out in your shed, try something. Try something. Have a go at something new, because you don't know what you can do or what you can't do till you try. I'll get out of your hair now. Time for some lunch, time to edit some video and turn some lights on and see if my little friend's going to reappear. Of course, he's there somewhere. He's there somewhere. Might be a good opportunity to clean up that corner, Dave, of all your crap. Anyway, bye.